My first year in ministry, I remember I was working at West Palm Beach in a church there, and one of our lay people came to me and started to complain about one of our church members who he had hired. And he said, he's constantly playing Christian radio and just sitting there and listening to it and tapping his hands. He's constantly witnessing to the other employees, and I hired him to build cabinets. He gets very little done as compared to any of the other employees in building cabinets because he's so busy witnessing and so busy listening to Christian talk and Christian music that he's so heavenly minded, he's no earthly good. And I thought about that for a while. Is it possible to do that? Of course it is. When we look at the scriptures in their full context, it tells us that when we work for someone, we're to do it as unto God. We're supposed to do it with enthusiasm and to the best of our ability. And that doesn't mean that we just entertain ourselves with Christian talk or Christian radio or witnessing. That's fine to do on breaks and at lunchtime, after work and before work, but that's not what we're hired for. And we're supposed to be good witnesses and be good employees. So we know that it's true that you can be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good. On the other hand, Colossians tells us a much more common problem is to be so earthly minded that we're no heavenly good. Listen to what Colossians 3, 1 through 10 says. Therefore, you have been raised up with Christ. Keep seeking the things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on things of the earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is our life, is revealed, then you shall also be revealed with him in glory. Therefore, consider the members of your earthly body as dead to immorality, impurity, passion, evil desires, greed, which amounts to idolatry. For it is because of these things that the wrath of God will come upon the sons of disobedience. And in them you also once walked, when you were living in them. But now you also put them aside, anger, wrath, malice, slander, abusive speech from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, since you have laid aside the old self, which is with its evil practices, and have put on a new self, which is being renewed to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created him. So it's possible that we can be so earthly minded that we're no heavenly good. That is, certainly we want to be good workers and work for the person that's hired us to do the job that he hired us for. But at the same time, we don't want to be so earthly minded that is filled up with all of these things. Listen, immorality, impurity, passion, evil desires, greed. We don't want to be filled up with anger and wrath and malice and slander and abusive speech, because then we become so earthly minded that we're no heavenly good. We're to be an example, and that being an example means being a good worker and doing everything as unto God. But it also means cleaning up our lifestyle so that it reflects Christ and is an example of what a Christian is supposed to be. So let's think about that. Let's not be so heavenly minded that we're no earthly good. And at the same time, let's not be so earthly minded that we're no heavenly good. That's my thought for the day. I hope it'll be your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.